Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Emerald Coast. We are in late summer, and we've got a perfect opportunity to get this corn chopped for the BGA before we head into our busy autumn harvest season. Got a few days here of decent weather, threatening for rain this afternoon and evening, so really don't want to get out and get into the hay fields. But a little bit of moisture isn't going to hurt the corn in the whole chopping process. That's what we're going to be doing today, is basically hauling chaff from fields just on the other side of this road down here to the BGA. And of course, we'll need to compact and blanket it up. I think the last time we did this, we had just over one full bunker. Let's see where our yields are today. Let's see what our empty weight is. $26,000, 58,000. Come on, 58,000 pounds empty, or 100,000 pounds full. Head on back up here in the field. Got some help today. Two brothers, Daryl, they were busy. Brought in another local farmer here named Darren. Going to be running the forage harvester for us, at least for a while. You see, just like last time we did this process, just coming straight across these fields, cutting across the access roads between them, and basically working them as if they were one big long field. We're getting really good yields off of this corn. We're not even able to go one full length of these fields with our trailer before we get filled up. I doubt we're going to get all the way to the end of this field before we are full again. Or it might be close. We'll have to just see how things go. While we're doing this, let's check our weather. We've got some rain this evening, and then we've got several days of good weather. So planning on getting out in the hay field tomorrow to mow our hay. That way, if we have to leave it overnight, it could be good because, well, Saturday and Sunday we've got highs, low 90s, and then mid 90s on Sunday. Excellent drying weather. Look, we've got really good wind speed. Although we really don't need to worry too much about drying weather because I'm thinking about baling the grass and then doing the inline wrapping. Make silage bales. Still got a fair bit of silage in our harvest store. Got a fair bit of hay bales. I don't know. We might just make hay bales and bring the excess bales down here to the pellet factory also. I've talked with two brothers, Daryl, see what they think. But today is just going to be a whole lot of back and forth. But what better than to put the mic down, hook up the GoPro to the side of the tractor, put the drone up and running, and well, break into a bit of a time lapse. Catch you guys on the flip side. Well, guys, it has taken me almost the entire day to get these 3 fields chopped, hauled down to the BGA. Darren has been an excellent help running the Forage harvester for us all day long. Wife went and brought us some lunch. Literally ate lunch in the cab. I think that thing is just about out of fuel. Let's see if I can't get Darren up on this 2-way radio. Hey Darren, I wanted to thank you for coming out and be with this harvest while the brothers Daryl were off doing whatever.
Oh, no problem at all. My pleasure.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get done this trailer load. See us filling this trailer all the way up. There's a pressure washer on the side of the building down there at the BGA. I'll take it down there and pull the hose off while we go. Unload
yeah,
this.
I'll clean it off and put it away.
We should be having some rain come in here this evening. It was looking a little thunderstormy, a little rainy earlier, but the clouds seem to have parted ways a little bit. But like I said, weather. Let's just look at the weather tablet again. I was showing weather here around 9 p.m. tonight. And like 4 or 5 good days of sunshine. So let me go ahead and just finish getting this thing done. Probably going to be down at the BGA tomorrow for some part of the day as we try to get the chaff compacted and blanketed up. Then we've got still in late summer, we need to get our second cut of hay off of our 3 hay fields. We need to get that done before we dive into autumn, because I think autumn we are going to be just inundated with all kinds of harvest. Well, good morning, everybody. As predicted, we did get a fair bit of rain last night. Rained off and on, actually. Sounded like Noah opened up a whole new set of floodgates through some of the storm. But at any rate, we're back down here at the BGA. We were able to get a fair bit of this stuff compacted down last night. I got about halfway to go. Shockingly, we've got about 1.2 million liters worth of product here in the bunker. So that is going to take quite a while to get compacted. It's going to be well worth it in the end. And we really don't have too much going on today. Kind of waiting on the hay fields to dry out a bit. I was thinking about what we were going to do with the hay, and I think what we're going to do is basically make hay out of the 2 smaller fields for our second cut, and then use the big field for a silage harvest. Our one harvest store is probably about halfway down from its silage that we had put in there from the other year. And the other harvest store that we've got has been sitting empty for quite a while. So I thought, you know what? Let's bolster our silage stocks. Really don't need a whole lot of extra hay to really get that whole hay field in hay, but we do want a little bit of extra hay, so I think that's what we're going to do. So while we're waiting for the sun to dry out the grass, continue on down here at the BGA, just working on getting this compacted as best we can. Get it covered up today, and we get it covered up. If we don't get it covered up today, that's fine. We'll get it covered up another day. Got plenty of time between now and winter when we expect to actually be processing this into energy. Come on. Make it up the hill here. Okay, this mound is turning out to look pretty darn good. Although I probably shouldn't be bragging too much about it. I'm sure I'll figure some way out to just completely mess this thing up. I'm a little curious from you guys, what is your preferred way of doing silage? Or should I say preferred way of doing chaff? You go for the traditional open bunker like this? Or are you more of a, should say modern, contemporary, or just more for the fermenting silo, the quicker way out, if you will? Dump it in the silo and let it do its thing. I used to be a little put off about these open bunkers, hesitant, not really sure how to do it. The fermenting silos seem so much easier. Dumped it in and let it do its thing. But after a little bit of work and practice and watching the techniques of others, I think I was able to, I wouldn't say master, but definitely feel comfortable with this whole process. Gonna have a whole bunch of up and backs, up and backs, up and backs. Glorious, glorious life of a silage compactor, if you will. I titled this video King of the Hill. Thought it was kind of appropriate given our pile of silage here. Didn't even think to get a screenshot of our action last night or yesterday afternoon with Darren helping us forage harvesting. Process took us 3 hours to get those 3 fields done. Three hours and 1.2 million liters later. I don't know how many trips back and forth. We can figure the math out for sure. Trailer held 51,000 liters worth of product. Almost an entire fuel tank on the forage harvester. Glad we didn't run out of fuel on that. Hey, I have run enough vehicles out of fuel down here at the Emerald Coast. I don't need to, well, let's just say I've got the merit badge for knowing how to use the field service trailer to refuel things in the field. Really enjoy using the more fuel usage mod, just from the standpoint that, you know, default fuel usage is way too low to be any semblance of realistic. I mean, you don't fill up a vehicle and then run it for days on end without having to fill it back up. So the more fuel usage mod really makes you should make you pay attention to your fuel levels. You're out there in the field working for more than a couple hours, but you better check because you might be running her dry, which is pretty accurate. Typically you're going to be wanting to top off your powered equipment, you know, at the start of every day. plan on using it heavily that given day. Then we couple that with the increased or the slower refueling, and boy, that is the combo there. Takes a long time to refuel. Something a little bit more realistic as far as pump output. And then at the same time, you're having to fuel up more often. There's more fuel usage. Then, like we have here on the farms, we have our own fuel tanks. The inevitable topping off of that fuel tank, that process takes a lot of time. We don't have a bulk fuel point on the map, not in the 19 version. In the 17 version we did. The 19 version we're stuck with using the Shell station, and I tell you, anyone that's gotten gas knows that pretty good thing that most vehicles have less than a 15-gallon tank. Flow rates out of those pumps. So we could probably put 1.5 million liters in here, or we were really having a hard time with keeping the material in the front. If we didn't have this problem where the heaps, the heap wasn't going all the way against the rear wall, the side walls, we'd be able to put about 2 million liters of product in here. I don't know what's up with this. We've talked about it in the past. These are the exact same bunkers that are down at the compost facility. And they work just fine. The only difference is that the compost facility bunkers are built in. They're placed in the map, whereas these bunkers are user placed. Go over here and just check, see how our grass is drying. So curious. All right, we're at 30%, so it's going to take a little bit while longer. We're just going to go ahead and keep running our JCB up here on the heap, waiting for the sun to do its duty. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go for the day, and see you back here in a day or so. What we're going to be doing, obviously, is doing some grass and hay work. As already outlined. So until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.